Your patience has paid off. It's now time to peel back the layers and see what this handle's like underneath all this goop. Was pretty thick right here on the grip part of it. Either that or years of use has changed it and made it stick on there harder. So it looks like it's going to require another application of this nasty, gross paint stripper stuff. Now here's the payoff. This is what that handle looks like underneath all that crud. Pretty nice, huh? See, it's still pretty dry. And the other thing that I discovered is this crack here. Well, it's kind of really a crack. So I think I'll be able to do some gluing, glue that all back together, and it shouldn't be an issue. I still got to figure out how to fix this, but at any rate, this is what we've got to work with.
I mentioned on the last video that I'd had some blowback over the fact that I had not soaked this blade in the Marvel Mystery Oil like I did in the vinegar. Blowback was really the wrong term. What I really had was some constructive criticism, was somebody saw an idea that I didn't see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak this saw blade in Marvel Mystery Oil for, I don't know, it's going to be not quite 24 hours, but it'll be pretty close to it.
So you need to soak a saw blade, and you don't have a pan that's long enough to soak it in. What do you do? What do you do? Well, I don't know what you do. I'll tell you what I do. I make a pan. There it is. A pan for soaking a saw. Now let's soak it. We'll come check on that later on.
Welcome back. It's officially later on. It's been now 22 hours since I put this saw blade in the Marvel Mystery Oil to soak. So now it's time to find out what's the result.
Alright, let's see if I can do this without puncturing my aluminum foil. Spilling this stuff all over the place. I'm going to wipe this off with my rag here. And then I'm going to hit it with a scrubby. I'm really not digging this though. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see if I can get it in the light. There. Not only is it not de-rusted, it's still orange, for crying out loud. You can spit on orange rust and it takes the orange away at least. Alright, so far I'm really not impressed. Let me get my scrubby. Scrub it on a nice firm surface here so I can get some grip on it. Well, that was bound to happen. Nuts. Well, now I've finally convinced myself that Marvel Mystery Oil is not a miracle rust remover. I'm going to try something that I'm fairly certain is going to work. This is my medium grit Arkansas stone, sharpening stone, and this is simple green. I read somewhere, reading about the Arkansas stones, that simple green is a good medium for carrying away the I don't know what you call it, the shavings or the stuff that the stone shaves off. So here we go. I'm just going to get rid of this rust. See how this is doing. call that improvement. We're not there yet, but it's working. So after a while of using the sharpening stone, it occurred to me that that was probably going to take about 2 years to get this saw done. So here's what I went to. I've got some 800 grit wet dry sandpaper, and it's doing a real nice job of cleaning it up. I've got 2 things worth noting here. I'm going to tip you over. Oh. Here's the first thing. As you look down that saw, tell me if you see it. Right in the middle. Looks like a big splat. Right about here, from here to here. Well, this, if you'll recall, is the saw that I used when I tested the Marvel Mystery Oil the first time. And as a bonus, I showed you something that does work, being vinegar. I put a folded up paper towel of vinegar right there in the middle of the saw, hoping that it would expose an engraving or an embossment that had E.C. Atkins on it. It didn't, but now look what I got. I've got some chemical change in my saw. I'm not sure whether I need to leave it alone or whether I need to soak the whole thing in vinegar, because looking at that hanging on the wall is going to drive me bonkers. And here's the other thing. I've got this all pretty well nice and cleaned up. I mean, it still needs a little bit of work, but for the most part, it's cleaned up. Except for down here, the teeth. The teeth still have rust on them. How on earth do you get the rust off of saw teeth? Well, let me show you how. In case you ever need to get rust off of your saw teeth. Take a piece of wood, put your sandpaper on it, and when you sand, only go that direction, because the instant that you come back this way with it, with pressure on it, it's going to tear up your sandpaper. So go like that, and you got to go about with the rake of the teeth, kind of match the back side of the teeth, or else you'll get a little bit of tearing even doing it this way. Well, like you probably figured I would, I couldn't stand it. I went ahead and soaked this whole thing in vinegar. And man, am I glad I did. Got rid of that weird splat mark, and it helped to lift the rust. The back turned out even better than the front of it did. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Figure I might as well do it right. How many times am I going to restore this saw? Hopefully once. So might as well do it the way it should be done.
Well, that's all for now. That's about all the time that we've got. Plus, it's time to go to bed. I hope that you've enjoyed the progress that we've made so far. And on the next episode, it'll hopefully be the last, because really all that's left now is to clean up the handle, glue and clean up the handle, seal it, and then it'll be sharpening the saw and putting it all back together. Probably the other way around. We'll probably put it back together before sharpening it. So, click the thumbs up if you liked it. Click the thumbs down if you didn't like it. But tell me why you didn't like it in the comments if you didn't. And be sure to check back, I don't know, hopefully within the next day or 2 days. I'll have the next part up. Also, there's going to be a new series coming up that is going to start on Monday. Man skills. I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. I'll see you next time.